Hi, Facebook. Hi, friends. Allie here. Um, I'm excited to be here today. If you might have seen that I'm coming live today with my dear friend and business partner, Summer Ross, to share a little bit of her story because it's a really good one. So, I am going to give her a couple of minutes to join. Hi, Melissa. My gosh, Melissa, we need to get bracelets for you. I just realized we haven't done that. Okay, Summer is joining as well. Yay. Hi, Dorothy. Okay, we are live here. Now, Summer and I practice this. I am going to add Summer to our little party. Well, thanks, Jeannie. You're so sweet. Okay, add. We practiced. We did not want to waste y'all's time. Yay, it's working.
I can hear you.
Okay, there's no echoes.
Nope.
I think this is like a record. It's like a record for me.
Awesome.
I always have echoes. How are you? You look beautiful.
Good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Here's hoping. I have the 3-year-old in there in front of a screen eating lunch. So hopefully we can do this without being interrupted, but no promises.
Hey, it's real life over here. You're a work from home mom. I'm a work from home mom. Gabby's
That's
not
right.
here, but as most if you don't know, we're under a big renovation right now. I know you know this Summer, but
Yes.
for those watching, we're under a big renovation right now. So my phone is ringing. I never know, and when some may not answer their phone when they don't know the number, I always have to.
Right.
But I'm not going to during this, so don't worry.
Okay.
But anyway, so here we are. And I am really excited to be here with Summer today. I'm going to hide these comments actually because it's really distracting. But what I'm going to do afterwards is go and look at them because I thought we could actually answer some questions, Summer, because I think
Great.
people are really going to like your story.
Okay.
So, but let me just back up. And I actually do have my questions here
Okay.
in my notes because I didn't want to forget anything. But just
Sure.
for those that don't know me, my name is Allie Santano. I live in the Rockwall Heath area. That's basically, it's a blip on the map to those on around Dallas, but it's a suburb of Dallas. I have been with Park Lane maybe for about a year and a half now, maybe like 16, 17 months. But I've been in the industry for going on 11 years, which is crazy. I have a 10-year-old girl and a sweet husband who travels with seeming like most of the time now with his new job. And I absolutely love what I do. And but about a year and a half ago when I met Summer at a show, I'm going to let her tell you that story. But what I thought everybody would like about Summer's story today is the fact that you had never done anything like this before, and I'm going to let you tell her story, but you decided to host a Park Lane get-together, which back 11 years ago, that is what my thought was. I had never done anything like this before, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to do a show and just see.
Right.
So it's a great way for people to kind of try it on, even if they decide it's not for them, but I wanted people to be able to share your story. So, but before you tell a little bit about yourself, Summer, I want to share because I always forget this, and I hate it when I forget this. But I'm going to give away. Okay, I'm wearing the confetti earrings, which I love. Okay, so it's really hard when you're doing these Facebook Lives. You want to look at yourself, which looks like you're staring off into space, and like there's a bug on the wall. There's not. So forgive me if I do that. I'm going to give away. I'm wearing these confetti earrings, and if whoever watches this, if you watch live or if you watch later, comment below, like interact with us, and you're going to be entered to give these away. Acrylic is a friend, and what I loved on Park Lane's kind of like their spin on this, actually they have several acrylic pieces in this collection, but I loved how they just added a little bit of jewel to this, which is so fun. These are so lightweight, I didn't really notice I had them in, but I'm also wearing the confetti necklace and then a fun little arm party that I put together. So anyway, so comment so that you can be entered. Okay, Summer, tell us a little bit about you, though, please. And tell us what you're wearing, your jewelry.
Okay, sure. So I'm Summer Ross. I live in another suburb of Dallas called Allen. And I've been married for 13 years now. And we have 3 lovely children. I've been a stay-at-home mom since I had our first child in the spring of '09. And then had another one, and then had another one. And really lucky to be able to have 3 kids and be able to stay at home. My husband has a great job, very secure. So I just doing the mom thing, driving carpool, changing diapers, going to the grocery store. And while all that was great and fulfilling and what I always kind of wanted it to be, I still kind of had a longing to have something to call my own, something that was just all for me, for a couple of reasons. One is we made a move in the summer of 2017 to Allen, and I was eager to meet new people and trying to kind of figure out how to do that. And then also we had gotten a diagnosis on one of our children with a diagnosis of a neurological condition. And that was something that we had been searching for answers, and so glad to have those answers, but it was still, and it still is, a big impact on our family life, and also on our kind of on our finances. So while I love being a stay-at-home mom, I had really been thinking like, okay, is it time for me to, get a part-time job? Should I go back into the workforce? And what had happened is I was actually invited to a jewelry show a year ago, April. So that was April of 2018. I was invited to a show that my cousin was having. And when she sent out the invitation, it was just, come to my jewelry party. And I was intrigued because I love jewelry and I love fashion. Of course, it was my cousin and I wanted to go and support her. But I was curious about what the brand was. So I asked her, what company is it? And she said, well, I can't tell you. And I thought she was, I didn't know that she was serious. She's kind of a funny, dry sense of humor person. And she was like, no, really, I can't tell you. The stylist is actually trying to decide if she's going to stay with her present company or move to a new one. So I thought, well, okay. Keep me posted. Let me know. It was on a Friday morning. My cousin lives about 45 minutes away from me. I had both of my little boys at home. So all of the circumstances were not favorable for attending. And a couple days passed, and then she said, okay, well, the stylist actually decided she's staying with her current company. This is the current company. Do you still want to come? And it was a line that I had shopped before, and it really never spoke to me. So I politely declined, told her I would look online. That's kind of, the tagline that you say when somebody's having a party and you don't really want to go. And then a couple of days later, she actually texted and said, okay, well, the stylist decided she is going to move companies. So she's at a new company. It's called Park Lane. I would love for you to come. And I was instantly intrigued. I consider myself, kind of hip and knowing what's going on. And I had never heard of Park Lane. So I immediately jumped on the website, saw like 3 or 4 pieces on the website that I loved. I read about their all the time customer sale. And there were just too many positives for me not to go. So loaded up my boys on that Friday morning and we drove out to my cousin's. We actually stopped and picked up my 92-year-old grandmother too, to, just further complicate matters. But my grandmother loves jewelry as well. And so we went, and I loved it all. I saw the pieces that I wanted, and I bought that day, and there was so much more than I wanted. So that is really how I learned about Park Lane. Was that a long, twisty answer to get to what you were asking?
No, actually,
Okay.
that's perfect, because what I love about this mostly is that you were like, you know what, I've never heard of this, and this stuff looks cute, and their sale, which is not really what we're going to be talking about today, but their sale is like the website, and the sale is what made you decide to go,
try it.
Get your grandmother in the car and figure out the boys and, come over and socialize.
Right.
Because really
right.
that's what, it's all about, is just getting together. And it made you excited about actually going to the trouble of doing that, since you
Absolutely
have one at home.
Yes.
And so, okay, so let's fast forward a little bit, because I think people would really like to be curious about, this as well. Why did you decide to host? Because I remember whenever we met each other, you were doing what everybody was doing. It was my very first show with Park Lane, and you were making a wish list because
Yes.
I tell everybody at the shows, okay, you're not going to pay full price for the majority of what you get because of this sale. So make yourself a wish list, and I'm going to do my magic math for you over here. So you were following instructions. Everyone comes with wish lists, and you came and you said, okay, and I think I would like to do a show. I had talked about how to do the shows and the benefits, the host rewards and all that amazing stuff. And so you were like, okay, and I think I would like to do a show. I think people would like to know why you decided to host, and if you actually had in mind at that time, okay, I think I might want to be a stylist, and did that play into why you wanted to host? Kind of a two-part question.
Right. Well, so to answer the first part is, yes, I decided to host because even though the sale was incredible and I knew I was going to go home with like 4 or 5 pieces or not go home, but order the pieces and they would come to me, there was still so much that I wanted. And again, while we were living comfortably on one income, there was never a lot of extra just to kind of indulge. So it wasn't like I could put in multiple orders that day. So I got my top picks. And then once you explained about all the hostess benefits and how much I could get for free and half price and the thank you line, again, it was kind of like a no-brainer. And all of those, again, positives outweighed all of the kind of, objections that I had in my head. We'd only lived in our neighborhood for about 9 months and I still didn't really know a lot of people. But instead of like looking at that as a negative, I was like, okay, well, this is a great excuse. I can invite, some preschool friend moms, some neighbors, some elementary school moms, and just get to know them. And while I always liked to socialize and have a full house, our family had really cut back on a lot of socialization while we were trying to figure out what was going on with our son. So I was really hungry and longing for some social interaction. And I just felt like kind of like all the stars were aligning for this to be a positive thing. And I just, hosted because I wanted more jewelry and I wanted kind of a social outlet. So those were the 2 reasons why I hosted. Now, once we started like getting my show planned and, I got to chat with you more, know a little bit more about the company, know a little bit more about your background. My wheels did start to turn and I thought, okay, maybe this is what I've kind of been, maybe this could be the solution for the problem that I've been having of having that want of wanting something to call my own. Oh, here comes my son. Oh, yes, I can.
It's a sorcery one.
It is.
I
yes.
want one. I'm with Gabby.
I'm just going to grab the first one. Okay, look, we're getting a Toy Story yogurt drink here, and then we're moving on.
No, Gabby.
Nope, not Gabby. Okay, well, you're going to have to drink this one first, okay? There you go.
Is it blue?
It's purple.
I don't.
Okay, will you go out and shut the door, please? Okay, so we're as good on time as long as that yogurt drink lasts.
Hey, what's real life over here? We are moms working from home.
That's right. So I had just like the wheels started to turn that maybe this is the solution for the problem that I feel like I have, like needing something to call my own, wanting a way to bring in some extra income to help offset the therapy bills that we knew were going to be coming. And also the reason this Park Lane versus, another direct sales or maybe, a part-time job was that it was an unknown company for myself. I had tossed around the idea of some other direct sales companies over the previous couple of years and ended up saying no to those for a couple of reasons. One, market saturation. I felt like everybody I knew was selling these products, so why would anybody buy from me? And then the other one was really high startup cost. And again, there was no way I could invest, like $5,000 to start something that I didn't even know I could do. So again, all the stars aligned to reveal that Park Lane would be a great place to just try it out. And so I hosted. Once the day of the party actually happened, I was already feeling confident that I was going to say yes to the stylist opportunity. And so I even told some of my girlfriends that were there that day, like, I'm really thinking about doing this. And if I did, would you want to host a show? And I got a lot of positive feedback from my friends. I think one, because they're my friends. And two, again, it was just kind of an unknown company. The sale is great. There's just so many reasons to say yes.
Well, I love what you said. And thank you for sharing that. And I love that, Summer, because I love that you said, first of all, like, product is amazing, and there's so many other things. The sale is great. We aren't even talking about compensation plan, but there's so many things that are great about this.
Yes.
But I heard someone say this morning, actually, and she was just highlighting how really what the greatest thing about this is the reason that you hosted in the first place. Like, you had missed, it's just been summer crazy over here, and I feel like having people over because I haven't seen my friends in so long. And so for you, it was because you guys were in the midst of figuring out this therapy and stuff, and kind of in your own, family thing. And you were like, okay, I just want to have people over. This is cute and new and fun. Like, this is going to be a fun thing. So I love that was the reason why you decided to host, because that really is what this is all about. I remember there was at one point where you were like eager and like ahead of me on all the steps of hosting. Like, you did the invite before I had a chance to do it. And I was like, girl, maybe you should think about this. And I remember you responding saying, actually, it's kind of crossed my mind. And so, many times that happens too, whenever someone's host. Okay. So the next question that I have is, okay, so I actually threw this in, Summer, and this is kind of a pop question for you.
Oh, no. Okay.
But I think you've shared. But what about hosting the show actually helped you to go ahead and decide to partner with Park Lane? Like, what about the show actually helped you decide to do that? Was it the rewards? Was it the fact that your friends got to see it first? Was it that, you got to see how it all worked? Like, what about the show do you feel like really kind of helped you solidify the idea?
Well, there's a few. I think one was just the positive response to the brand. People loved so many things, and that's what's great about our line. We have the wide range. We have, the small delicates to the big statement pieces because, your friends are a wide variety of people. So I like the positive response to the brand. Again, talking with you and the programs, I realized that I could start without a huge startup cost. And I would actually start off making like very decent commission. And then the fact that my show that I hosted could actually flip to be what you would call like your starter show. So instead of me just earning the awesome jewelry, I earned a paycheck on the show that I hosted, and the jewelry. So that was really amazing. And then I guess finally, just realizing all of your experience and the other ladies on our team, even though everybody was new to Park Lane, I knew we would be figuring out Park Lane together because everybody was new, but everybody had, at least 7+ years in the direct sales jewelry space. So I knew I was partnering not only with a great company, but I was partnering with a great like central team who were going to be there to help me get started.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, because I remember when I hosted a show, actually. So back, rewind. I love what you shared, because I rewind and I think it's a long time ago. Whenever I think, okay, why did I decide to host a show? What I loved about that process too was like you said, all the jewelry rewards. I actually ended up deciding to sign up before my first show even happened. And so
Okay.
it was a little different because I had made the decision, 11 years ago. I had made the decision already. Okay, I'm going to do this. But my sponsor still came. Actually, it's my sister Tish. She still came and helped me. So we had actually kind of flipped it ahead. But I loved the hostess rewards. And when
Yeah.
you were playing the hostess rewards, I mean, with 10 orders, our hostesses get $400, and then they can get a $100 bonus on top of that, which is crazy. That's $500 that you can get on top of your 1,000 that you get when
Yeah.
you sign up. So I mean, I love that part of it as well. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, what about? Oh wait, I already asked you that question. Okay. So I know that you've built a team,
Yes.
a great team.
Oh, thanks.
But when you started, was this something that was on your mind? You're like, okay, I'm going to build whenever I start with Park Lane. Or did you have this as a goal from the start? Maybe I think people would like to kind of know that.
Yes. Not a goal from the start. From the start, I just wanted pretty jewelry that I could wear and proudly show and get at an incredible discount. And I wanted a way to be able to say, like, I'm doing more than just driving carpool and changing diapers. Like, even if that's great, I wanted something else. And so getting those paychecks, sometimes weekly paychecks, depending on, just how you work your business, that was really great. So I started in May of 18, kind of a crazy time to start, I'll be honest. But really, if I'm being super honest, there's never the perfect time to start. You just start and you jump in, because there's never going to be that perfect time. So I started in May, and in August, we had our biannual convention. And at convention, they announced where the next incentive trip was going to be. And I've traveled a good amount, but haven't really done huge international travel. I had never been to Europe. And when they announced where our next incentive trip was going to be, it was to Rome, Italy. And I knew right then and there that I was going to earn the trip, because I had never been. And if I could earn a trip just by like working my business, then I'm going to do it, or I should at least try. So it really wasn't until about 3 months in that I decided, like, okay, I'm actually going to build a team. And that is part of earning the trip. There's a sales quota, and then there's a recruiting part of it too. And so, and I was nervous. I was like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm a very type A personality, and need to follow the rules and go through all these steps. And at first, I was like, I don't really know if I can build a team, and if I did, I don't know, how successful it would be. But it's been kind of organic, and I've built a team kind of on my own pace and on my own terms. And, of course, there's some weeks and months where I am working this business a whole lot more than at other times of the year. But again, that's what's great about Park Lane. I realized that I could work this business around the busyness of my family, and I could build a team around the busyness of my family. I didn't really come into it thinking I was going to be one of these huge income earners, and I was going to have this huge team, but it's something it's happened. I have a cute little, team of 13 ladies, and that's really fun. So Amos is back.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that, Summer. Thank you.
You look right there.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so the next thing I have for you is, so what have you loved most about Park Lane? I know your answer to this, but people would like to know, okay, you've never done this before. It's been about a year and a half.
That's how I listen.
What's been your favorite thing?
Well, two things. And the first one is our trips are just absolutely amazing. Again, like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of international travel. And so I earned the trip to Rome, and we went this past March, and it was absolutely amazing. It was really amazing to go without kids and husband. It was just like my time. So that was really awesome. Yes, you can play with that. Okay, I can't help you get it right now. It's going to be just a couple more minutes. I don't know. It's over there. I'm really sorry.
No, you're fine,
and
Summer. It's being great.
and then our weekly paycheck. So as long as you are working your business and closing, what we call closing and submitting a show every week, you're going to get your weekly paycheck. Now, does Park Lane punish you if you don't close a show one week, or you have to, back off of your business? No, that was the other thing that I found really attractive about Park Lane, because being a full-time stay-at-home mom with 3 busy kids, I knew that there was just going to be times of the year that I couldn't work the business. But then once I realized that Park Lane does not strip you of your status every month or every quarter. Excuse me, just 1 minute.
Oh. Okay, so while Summer takes care of Amos, I'll elaborate on what she's talking about. So, and it was a really big thing as well for me.
Okay, you got it. Don't let it fall.
To partner with Park Lane.
Can you close the door?
Don't.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, well, I'll let her share it. Okay, so go ahead,
Okay.
Summer.
Sorry. And that was something else that I found really attractive about Park Lane, is that it wasn't like every month you had to start over. Every month you had to like sell X amount of dollars. So the trips and the weekly paycheck, and then also just not losing your rank or commission status, I think is huge, because as women, we tend to take things maybe a little bit more personally than men. It's really like soul crushing if you've like worked hard to get to some level, and then all of a sudden, because of life circumstances or things that are out of your control, if you can't make your numbers for 1 month, that you have to like slide backwards. And I found that really attractive about the company.
It's such a good point that you bring up, because it is really attractive. And you mentioned, yes, women, we are so much more, we definitely are more emotional. But I think that the emotions would come out in Jason if he came home one day and was in his partnership.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think the emotions would come out, and I think Andres' would too. But I also love that part about Park Lane. You don't demote, and nobody works their rear end off to actually promote a level in your company's career plan to then have it stripped from you just because you had a baby, or just because your mother was ill, and God forbid, you go through a period of a health crisis and you need to take a step back. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was just not a thing in Park Lane. They're like, you earned it, you are that. So, okay, so the last question I have for you is basically, in closing, like, to someone who doesn't have industry experience like you didn't, or to someone who has 3 or 4 or 5 busy kids, or maybe just 2 or 1 like me, but anyway, to someone who's extremely busy running kids around, or maybe someone who's been out of the workforce for a while, because you have been open with that you were, you've been a stay-at-home mom for 9 years. And sometimes I think that could be like, okay, what are my qualities again? Like, what skills do I have? Outside of just what I've been doing, if there wants someone like that who's wondering if this is something, it could be something for them. Like, what piece of advice do you have for them that may help them decide if it is or if it isn't?
Right. Well, I think the very first thing is you just have to host a show. You have to host a show. You need to get in front of the products. I mean, especially if you've only ever seen it like online or in the catalog, and while you can have a very successful Park Lane online business, you really seeing it in person, getting your hands on it, I think is so important. I can't tell you how many times, I mean, practically at every show, people say like, oh my gosh, it just looks so different in person. It's so much more sparkly. And so host a show, see what your friends and family think about it. See what your husband thinks about it. I have yet to hear of a husband, mine and my team members, who says yes, absolutely, like first thing. Like it takes the husbands maybe a little bit longer to, get their heads wrapped around it. But once those weekly paychecks come in, they're whistling a different tune. So just, host a show, and at the end of the show, whether it's that night or a couple days later, if it's still not sitting completely okay with you, then now's not the time. It's not a no forever. It's maybe now is just not the right time. And that's what's great about like an open stylist, which I feel like I am. Like, I approach the subject with people a lot, hosting a show, turning to a stylist, and they'll just say, well, not right now. And I'll say, yeah, great, not right now. We'll follow up. So I think for sure hosting a show, and then also just being open to the idea of once you host that show, flipping it, realizing that you can leave, walk away from that show having jewelry and the paycheck, and then all of the other things that come along, all of the our what we call our rich reward program, where people are earning jewelry where they're not having to dip back into their pockets to add product to their table. And again, just the wealth of knowledge that they will get when they join our little treasure tribe team.
Yeah, well, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I think that is, the biggest piece of advice I have as well, whenever I'm talking to someone and they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to know right now.
Right.
Why don't we just gather your friends and just see what they think? Like, have them be the people that tell you whether or not they like it, or if they would do a show, or if they're supportive. Like, you start with your friends and family. Now, does someone always have to host a show? I didn't, personally. I did not host a Park Lane party before I decided to join Park Lane. I signed up to host with my previous company, but I decided to join before the show even happened. So that doesn't need to be, like, if you're in an area where you don't even know a stylist, or your friend that sells it lives across the country, hosting in person is not the only way.
No.
But I think if you have the opportunity to try it on, like, it could be your starter show. Gather a few ladies and decide, have them help you decide whether or not, see what kind of feedback you get. Like you said, you can see the jewelry, and then you have your own personal experience with the amazing Hostess Rewards program. I'm talking $400 to $500.
Yes.
Add to your display for free, and you get the commission. So I love that.
It's incredible.
Advice. So,
yes.
Well, Summer, okay, I'm going to check the questions. I love your answers. Thank you so much.
I don't think I ever said what jewelry I was wearing, so I'll say.
Tell us what you're wearing.
And actually, I had Amos pick it out for me. I was putting my makeup on, and I said, Amos, go pick me out jewelry. So I promise you, my almost 4-year-old son picked this out. So it helps that my trays were already out and like divided by color. So these are our Twizzler earrings. This is a big trend. The ear thread, as you can see, it's almost like a little teardrop shape, and they just glide right into your ear, super easy. They come in gold, silver, and rose gold, so I'm wearing the gold. And then this is our Sunny necklace, which again, this is one of these ones in the catalog. You're like, I'm not sure, but then you see it in person and you're like, oh yes, please. So it is just a circular disc with this beautiful sun with these little pave stones, two-tone pink and green. And then also you can turn it around. Like if you wanted to wear it with the sun turned around and just wear the little kind of hammered looking back part showing out in the front. I absolutely love that. That's how I have on today. I have no rings and no bracelets.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the questions. Well, I have bracelets on. I'll have to share what I'm wearing. So I am wearing my everyday, like I even wear this by itself. I've forgotten the name of it. The Brooklyn bracelet.
Brooklyn, yep.
And then I have the Talon bracelet on, and then I'm just in love with this Serena bracelet.
Oh, yes.
One of our stackings from, I forgot the name of it, the River bracelet.
The River,
One of these, and I've already forgotten the name of this
bracelet.
Jelly.
Jelly.
Yes.
Jelly?
That's I kind of pulled those colors together to go with my confetti. Hi, Amos. Okay, so I'm going to look at the questions questions and see.
I want
I
you
don't
to
think we have any
emoji.
questions from
That's
anyone. So,
emoji.
Okay.
okay, yay.
Push the
Well,
heart.
Summer, thank you so much. And Amos, thank you for being
What does
such a
that
good
mean
boy.
when you push the heart?
Miss
And,
Allie said, thank you for being
I
a good
hope this has
boy.
been helpful. Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes.
hope this has been helpful to anyone who may be
Look at
considering
that
hosting
emoji.
or, you know, was interested in hearing how it helps Summer decide. Thank you very much, Summer, and bye,
Sure.
Amos. We'll see
Bye,
you
guys.
later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.